Psalm 110, verse 1, establishes some of the criteria that reveals Jesus as the coming Messiah. Verse 1 begins, "The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand, till I make your enemies your footstool." As I wrote in the introduction to this psalm in the previous Breakfast Bible Bites, the psalm is remarkable because it sets forth the deity of Christ. If we consider this psalm in any other light, we would be guilty of denying the deity of Christ and the authenticity of his word. And as already mentioned in the previous Breakfast Bible Bite, it is referenced many times in the New Testament. The phrase, "sit at my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool," is applicable to groups of enemies making their final assaults on Jesus, confronting him in their feeble attempts to retain their power and position. Jewish religious factions confronted Jesus in hopes of trapping him. The Herodians were a political party who tried to trap Jesus by forcing him to make a political statement that would label him as a traitor to Rome. The Sadducees were a liberal religious party who tried to trap Jesus with an absurd question regarding the Mosaic Law, which they only casually accepted anyhow. And then a third group known as Pharisees, who were a group that combined both religion and politics. They tried to trap him under the pretext of blasphemy, but Jesus answered their question in an unexpected manner, confounding their own understanding of the word, and they dared not attempt to trap him again. Here is the dialogue in Matthew 22, 42 through 45. They knew Jesus was the son of a carpenter from Nazareth, who in their minds was conceived in iniquity. So they posed a question to him, and Jesus posed this question back to them: "What do you think about the Messiah? Whose son is he?" They replied, "He is the son of David." Jesus responded, "Then why does David, speaking under the inspiration of the Spirit, call the Messiah my Lord? For David said, 'The Lord said to my Lord, sit in the place of honor at my right hand until I humble your enemies beneath your feet.' Since David called the Messiah my Lord, how can the Messiah be his son?" In this discourse, Jesus humbled the crestfallen religious elite by leveling a cognitive dilemma against any Jew who would honestly recognize the Lord's relationship to David, both as David's descendant and as his Lord. Analytically, by their own scrolls, they are faced with the recognition that the Messiah is David's Lord and is consequently David's superior, therefore he could not be his physical son. So the scriptural reference must be applied to the supernatural birth of the promised Messiah, not to a son of David by natural birth. The context of this complex passage is prophetically identifying that our Lord Jesus Christ, Israel's Messiah, must be born of a virgin.